After editing and rewatching the video that I'm about to show you in a second here, I realized there's a few things that I didn't say that I probably should have said and should have prefaced all of it with. So I'm injecting this little thought here. Now, first and foremost, there's no shortcuts to anything. You know, if you're just starting out in this video really isn't for you. You can use this to practice and learn how to shoot residential architecture if you want to, but building a proper residential architecture portfolio takes a long time. I've been shooting architecture specific for real estate and architecture since 2011. And it's taken me up to this point to build a portfolio that I'm proud of. And it's always going to be evolving. Like it's not, you don't go shoot a bunch and you have a portfolio. That said, if you were in my position and you were in a place where you just simply didn't have, you had the skills to shoot it, but you didn't have the opportunities, either people weren't hiring you for one reason or another, or the town you live in just doesn't have the types of projects that you want to be in your portfolio, there are ways that you can get access to those and build a portfolio. So that is what this video is all about. But I really wanted to preface by saying it does take time, even if you want to spend the money and build one rapidly. There's ways to do that, but it still takes time. And you're never going to be 100% pleased with your portfolio. It's going to be a growing thing as your skills grow and as you grow as a photographer. So one of the common questions that architectural photographers get from people who are interested in architectural photography is, how do you build a portfolio? Now, depending on where you're at in the country, it might be difficult for you to build a architectural photography portfolio. For me, it was. In the location that I was in Minnesota, I had very few architecturally designed homes. I had very few interesting commercial architecture buildings in my city, and I pretty much had to travel at least an hour to see anything interesting, and then getting hired to shoot those was very difficult, to say the least. So shooting commercial architecture and building a commercial architecture portfolio became relatively simple, especially once COVID started. There was very little traffic on the street, so I essentially went around my entire town and I just shot all of the interesting commercial architecture in my city and used those as portfolio pieces until I got actual commercial architecture jobs. Residential architecture, on the other hand, was a little more challenging. Like I said, there just wasn't really any in my area. I think in the last 10 or 11 years of living in Minnesota, I shot 2 architecturally designed homes in my city. So they just didn't really exist. So what do you do when you don't have any architecturally designed homes near you, or nobody's hiring you for architecture, residential architecture or interior design, but you want to build a portfolio? What do? You can't just wait for a real estate listing. But what you can do is you can set aside some money and rent a space to go shoot. And today on this video, I'm going to share 5 different resources that you can use to find architecturally designed homes, or just well-designed homes to go in, rent, and build a portfolio. Now, yes, this does cost money. You're going to spend a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 if you want, but especially if you get a group of friends to go with you, these things could pay themselves off in the long run with building a portfolio and getting familiar with how to shoot architecture properly. So I'm going to share with you 5 different resources that I've discovered over the years that I'm going to now be utilizing to start building a more residential architecture portfolio. So the first site is pretty obvious. It's AirBNB, right? Recently, Airbnb did a complete revamp of their website to where it's more experience focused. So if you go to airbnb.com, you're going to see these little icons up at the top: lakefront, beach, cabins, OMG, like something interesting, national parks. So you can basically select the type of experience you want, and Airbnb will show you homes based on experience. So if you go to design, it's going to show you designed homes, like architecturally designed or just nice interior design. And you can see prices. Obviously, they're going to range. Like right here, there's Folly Beach, South Carolina. This is $1,500 a night. Probably won't be renting that anytime soon. But if I wanted to do a workshop or bring a couple friends and we could all pitch in for a night and build a portfolio, that might be worth it. This one's $675 a night, $250 a night in Atlanta, $319 a night in Georgia. Yeah, this one's $274 a night. You get my point. Now, obviously, Airbnbs, if you look at some of these, like even the photos are kind of hit or miss. Like I'm looking at this one in Nashville, and photos aren't all that good. So the one thing I will say is you can try to do a trade. A lot of these Airbnbs will have their own individual websites. So if you can somehow find the website of these places, then you can probably contact them. But if you try to contact a host through Airbnb, you have to be very careful. I personally got flagged for trying to trade photography for a stay, and Airbnb's bots caught me and they flagged me. So I don't do that anymore. But you can find houses that have poor photography and figure out a way to get in contact with them and see if they'd be willing to trade you. That's another way you can do this. All right, so Airbnb, most common, easiest example. The next one, and not many people have heard of this site, it's called PlansMatter. And this is like strictly vacation rentals across the world that are all architecturally designed. So they're all over the world, so not as many options as you might find on Airbnb, but we've got like Aspen, Colorado, Australia, Michigan. This is a Frank Lloyd Wright design. California. You have several in California, but you get the idea. And some of these are very reasonably priced. This one's in Grand Marais, Minnesota. Steve Magner and I were actually looking at that one. Farmington, Minnesota. Let's see, where's the Frank Lloyd Wright one? There's a few of them. This one's in Wisconsin, and this one's only $300 a night. So you can literally stay in a Frank Lloyd Wright for $300 a night. Now, availability, on the other hand, is not very easy. So this is their website. Interesting enough, it actually links directly to their website. So it looks like they've switched it to $600 per night, which is still a pretty reasonable price for Frank Lloyd Wright. They probably have a minimum 2-night stay. You get the idea. I'm not going to go through all of this, but if you want to rent a Frank Lloyd Wright, you've got an option. Let's look at tours to see what kind of photos they have on here. Looks like real estate photography. So imagine going in here and do like an architectural video, which is probably something I'm going to do someday. Anyway, so PlansMatter is the website. You can look at hotels and stuff as well if you want to find an interesting hotel to go shoot. There's these. I think they just started listing hotels not too long ago. But anyway, explore that, find some options. They're very reasonable price. This is another Frank Lloyd Wright. I don't think this one is available right now. Last time I checked, $340 a night. Let's see here. Oh, okay, yeah, it looks like they have, oh yeah, see, it's blocked off. I think somebody is living there at least until January. So you can see, oh, maybe, I think they're actually doing a renovation. I can't remember. But anyway, if you want to go stay in a Frank Lloyd Wright, you can do that for relatively inexpensive. All right, the next page, or this website, is called Peerspace, and this is a site where you can rent homes by the hour. So sounds a little sketchy, but it's designed for, you can kind of see it's for photo shoots and workshops and things of that nature. So you can basically search photo shoot, commercial photo shoot, and I can search any city I want, Nashville, and just hit search, and I can see what's available in Nashville. So I can search by, let's see, type of interior spaces. You can search all that stuff. I want to do a house. So this will show me all the different houses that are available. So I can kind of look through, see what's available. You can see $135 an hour, $95 an hour, $300 an hour. But a lot of these homes are designed very nicely. So if you want to pay a few $100s, go there, spend 2 hours shooting it, you could get some good portfolio shots in there and some good practice. Another website that's similar to that is called Giggster. This is basically the same exact idea. In fact, you'll find some of the similar houses on these websites, I believe. So if we want to do Las Vegas, for example, because we may be using this to find a place in Las Vegas for our workshop. Same basic concept as Peerspace. It's just by the hour, contemporary modern high-rise for $60 an hour. There's probably a minimum on here. Yeah. Oh, 1 hour minimum. Okay. So you can go shoot a high rise for $60 in Las Vegas if you want, and shoot it in an hour. So you get the idea. The final site is called Boutique Homes, or Boutique. I still don't know how it's actually pronounced. But this is kind of like an Airbnb. It's kind of like a mixture between all of these sites, really. We can go to vacation rentals, and you can search your city if you want, but let's see here. We'll find something in the United States. And yeah, you can basically just book it like anywhere else. There's other websites like VRBO and things of that nature you can do, but these are the ones that I found that are specifically focused on well-designed homes. VRBO, you're going to get like cabins and sometimes just shacks, really, and nothing that's super interesting. But this Boutique Homes site is geared towards more interesting or well-designed homes. So there you have it, 5 different resources you can use to, and yes, it does cost money, but you can build a relatively simple portfolio for a couple $1,000s. Not even a simple portfolio. You can build a very decent portfolio for a couple $1,000s if you want to do these multiple rentals throughout the country. Again, if you can split it between friends across the country, if you've got some photographer friends on one side of the country and you want to meet them there, you guys could both build portfolio pieces. Hopefully some of you guys found this helpful. Again, this is something I fully intend on doing. I've been talking with some friends about it a lot. It's just with all the moving I've been doing over the last year, it's been really hard, but this is definitely in my pipeline. I do have the funds set aside to do it. It's just a matter of finding the time and the energy and willpower to want to do this. Maybe I'll even put a workshop on one of these someday, and if you guys are interested, we could set something up. But all right, let me know if you have any thoughts or questions, or leave some comments if you know of any other places that I'm not aware of. All right, thanks for watching.